Hey, welcome to Sales Actually. This is John Zepp. Thanks for tuning in today and watching the video. I think you'll like what you see today. So our topic for today is about goal setting. But before we get to that, I want to give you a little a teaser for my next video. I've scheduled an interview with a master seller to kind of walk through keys to success, things he's done over his career that have led to incredible success and opportunities, and then just some highlights and tips and tricks for anyone starting out in sales or looking to move and progress their career. So really excited about that. As soon as I get that recorded and edited, we'll get that out on the channel so you can see that. So pretty excited about what's going on there. So today, get back to the topic. So we're going to talk about goal setting and why that's important and how to do that and the impact that's had on my career. So a couple key things there. So I would ask you this in the comments, if you have any tips and tricks around goal setting, some successes you've had, go ahead and throw them down in the comments, and I'll share those out, and other people, subscribers to the channel, can take a look at that as well. So I know everyone's had some different experiences when it comes to goals and goal setting and how to do that well and how to be effective with that. And if you've been around the block a few times, you've had success and failure and made changes to that. So we'll walk through that. So a few weeks ago, I made a video around the keys to success. I touched on goal setting as part of that just barely, very briefly, and I really want to dig deeper into that today, like kind of a deeper dive on goals and setting and how to do that and why to do it. So let's kind of walk through that. First off, what's a goal, right? And a goal is a target, something you're shooting for. And you've all heard it said, if you don't have a target, you don't know when you're going to have success. So you got to set that target out there, set a goal so that when you hit it, you know that you've had success and you can celebrate that. So that's pretty exciting. So let's talk about what a goal looks like. And I'm sure most of you, if you've been setting goals at any point in time, you've heard a discussion around SMART goals. You know, the acronym SMART, S-M-A-R-T. There's been a lot of work recently about smarter goals, so S-M-A-R-T-E-R. And I'm not going to go into the smarter piece, but we will talk through the SMART elements. But I also will provide some training and some different links around SMART and smarter goals and goal setting and how to do that beyond what I share today. So just real quick on that, that'll be in the description of the video. So 5 things: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely or time bound. So let's kind of walk through each of those one by one and describe what that means. So specific. It's very important to have very detailed, specific goals that you lay out. If you don't have them specific, if you don't have these details, it becomes very vague and hard to know whether you actually achieved it or not. So specific is really important. Measurable. It's got to be something you can get your hands around, so you can get some data around. Did I actually hit it or not? And if I did, was it 110%, 120%, or was it 70%, 80%? So you've got to be able to measure the goal some way. Achievable. So the achievable and realistic kind of go hand in hand. Achievable needs to be something that you can actually accomplish, right? Is it something that equates to something you're trying to do in life, in business, at work, whatever? So it's something that can actually happen. And then the realistic kind of goes hand in hand with that. Is it a goal that you could realistically achieve? So you could, there's a lot of people out there who would love to be an astronaut and go to the moon, right? That's not realistic for most people, unless you're a billionaire, I guess, with, you've seen all that in the news with the guys trying to go into space because they got a bunch of money in a space program. So go figure, right? But for most of us, that goal is not realistic. And would we love to do that? Sure, not realistic. So make sure it's realistic and makes sense for who you are, where you are in the world, and your education, your skill set, whatever, so that it's realistic. And then the final piece, and this may be one of the most important, is it timely or bound to time, or does it have a timeline on it, right? That's really, really important. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. So like I said, there's some work out there being done that's talked about for the last several years around smarter goals. And again, I'm not going to go into the extra ER on the end of that, but let's just talk about SMART, right? key things about setting goals that I think you need to keep in mind. One is write them down somewhere. Write them down where you can see them every single day. Right? I have goals for my the company I work for. I have goals for the business that I've started, and they're written down. They're on pieces of paper on my attached to my desk. So I walk into my office, I see them every day. I see them all day long every day because they're just outside of my peripheral. So write that stuff down. I don't know what way you want to do that. That's totally up to you, but write them somewhere, put them somewhere so that you see them every day, whether it's on your phone, on your laptop, on your screens. Just put them somewhere so you see them every day. That way you're reminded and you stay focused on those things. Another thing that's been really important, I think, is sharing those goals with people. Share your goals with people that you care about and that care about you. They'll hold you accountable. They'll help you achieve those goals or help you, stay focused on them. And the key there is, man, you got to be honest. If somebody asks you, hey, how's it going against this, towards this, be honest with them. Be straightforward. If you're missing it, say, hey, I'm missing it. And here's the challenges I'm running into. And maybe they've got some ideas to help you out. So that sharing is really important. So a couple things I want to, that I threw out at the beginning is I'll kind of share with you some of the goals I have and how the impact that's had. So back with my first real corporate job with Nissan Motor Corporation, I was a district manager, fresh out of college, 2 years out of college. I taught school for a couple of years, but then started at Nissan after a few years. So I sat down and had goals. Some of those goals were set for me, which several of us, everybody in a sales role has got some of those goals set for you. You've got a quota, you've got a customer satisfaction goal, and maybe, some key metrics, some KPIs that you need to accomplish. And so some of those goals are set for you. What they usually don't set for you is how do you go about those goals, right? That's up to you. You got to figure that out. How do you put the pieces in place, the building blocks to get to those goals? And so there's that. But then the other piece is, how do you set your own goals? And so as I started with Nissan, I started setting some goals. I admit I wasn't very good at it. I didn't have a clue. I didn't understand this SMART concept, right? So I'd throw something out there and go, oh, yeah, that sounds good. Not worth a flip, right? And so I did have some success in spite of that. Over that time there. But over my career, I've gotten more and more refined with that goal setting. And so the SMART and SMARTer concepts really have helped me refine what that looks like and how that works. And so, what I've found is a couple of things, and I'll just give you some specifics, right? So for the business I launched, I've set goals in 3 different areas. Physical goals, personal goals, as well as professional goals. So I'll just give you an example of some of those. So from a physical perspective, I wanted to lose 50 pounds by September 1st of this year. I'm heading there, haven't quite hit that goal yet, but I'm making progress. And so that's a good thing. It was a stretch. The 50 pounds is a lot. And I really set that goal in February or March. So that's a fairly short period of time to lose that kind of weight. But I've made some changes and heading down that path and making some progress. So that's good. From a personal perspective, I've got 2 sisters that live in different parts of the country. One's in California, one's in Colorado, and we don't communicate all that much. I didn't, right? And so I set a goal of making sure that I've got a plan to communicate more effectively with them. And so once a month, a reminder pops up on my calendar that says, hey, call your sisters, right? And so I do. I reach out, I text them and say, hey, what's a good time for us to get together and talk? And we do. So we have a conversation. And so that's gone really well. I'm excited about that. And I think they are too. None of us have a problem with each other. We all love each other and care about each other, but we just haven't done a great job of communicating up until recently. So that's an important goal. And then the third goal I'd share with you is kind of a professional goal that I have for my business. So I've set a goal to start a business, get it launched, and generate some pretty significant revenue by February of 2022. So the business is in place. I'm putting the foundational pieces to work and building the plumbing, as some people call it, and there's some things happening. So I'm pretty excited about that. Now the revenue goal, it's pretty huge. It's achievable, but it's way out there. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna get there by February of next year, but the goal's out there, I'm working towards it, I'm putting the pieces in place to make that happen. So we'll see how that one plays out. One of the things that I will challenge you around is make sure your goals are a stretch and a challenge, but achievable, right? So when we talk about that achievable pace, it's easy to set this massive, huge goal out there, or set a very low goal so that you hit it every time. Well, if you're hitting every one of the goals you set every time, your goals are too low, right? Let's step it up. Let's push it up a little bit. Raise that bar. Get the challenge out there, right? And so when I talk about that goal I have from a revenue perspective for my business, it's challenging. I mean, it's a big number, and I'll get there. Will I get there by February 22? I don't know, but that's the goal that I've set out there. So make sure it's a challenge and not just a slam dunk. You want to make sure that you're pushing yourself a little bit. Okay, so what else was I going to tell you? Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. The other thing that I was going to share is there's a ton of videos and websites and training around goal setting. So if you're struggling with, how do I do this? How do I make this real for me? There's some things out there that can help you out. I'm going to share a few links in the description, which I think I mentioned already, but take a look at that stuff. See if there's something there of value to you, and then go get it, right? So with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I think just a reminder, in the comments, tips and tricks, anything you've learned that you'd like to share with people, and then like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and then hit the notifications bell so that you get notified of the next video that's posted. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks for all that you do, and if you have any questions, give me a holler, and then go sell something. Thank you.